And what is happening, everybody? My name is Julius, and I am here once again with another entry into a podcast that you hopefully are ignoring. One of the great things about doing this podcast weekly is that each week I've had different people on to learn about, to understand, and to talk with. And I have someone just as different and just as unique on this one. It is a friend of people you've heard in the past in this series. It's someone I've known for a good amount of time at this point, a couple of years. It is Miss Melissa.
Hello.
Hey, Melissa, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Come
Do I have
to
closer?
the mic. We want to hear it.
Is here good?
Yeah, no, it's
Okay,
perfect.
cool.
Do you listen to podcasts at all?
I do not listen to any podcasts.
None?
No.
Have you ever heard any?
I've heard some podcasts that other people have played, but I've never sought out my own podcast to listen to.
I'm curious because there's podcasts on everything. Have you ever thought of like a type to if ever?
I've honestly just never really looked into it.
I've
never even like an art podcast. I don't know. I've just never like.
Were you not a big radio person growing up?
I guess not really. I don't know. I just like. I really don't know why.
You know.
People have recommended me podcasts that I just like never looked it up for some reason, but like maybe I should.
The Bacon Podcast?
The Bacon Podcast?
Yeah, there's podcasts on everything. Just get some bacon.
Yeah, no, I've never listened. I've honestly never heard your podcast either, and I'm sorry for that.
That's okay, Melissa. It is called Ignore This Podcast. So you were doing what I was hoping you'd do. So I talked to all sorts of people on this.
Yeah.
Get to know, because they're all, Jacob, Lynn, plenty of people we know in common have been on this, and I got to learn a little bit about what they do, what they want to do, and I've actually been wanting to do this one for a bit. I've been thinking of asking you to be on for a while, actually, because you're one of the more interesting people I know, just because you've lived a very colored life. Not just because of your hair, but because you're an artist and everything.
Yeah.
You're living. We're in your apartment right now.
Yes.
So I've been wondering what it would be like to record and get to know you a bit better.
See how I live.
See how you, like a reality show, but
You're trying to open my mind and see.
Yeah. To podcasting. Are you sold yet?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
When's the last time you talked to Jacob?
To Jacob?
Yeah. Was it at the room thing we went to?
In person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, I think I've only messaged him on Instagram here and there recently, but I haven't seen
Any of them? Because you moved out. I'm not gonna say where, but you've moved away. Because we would hang out pretty often actually before.
Yeah. How long ago was the room thing? What month was that in?
It's maybe June.
June.
Yeah.
Last one.
I think.
I was still at that house though?
No.
Right,
You
I was
were.
already- I was-
You.
Okay,
you
yeah,
were,
because it was like
you
a
were
whole
here.
thing. Too.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
I think
Yeah, it's been a minute.
we met through Jacob.
Yeah.
But we met through him, and then there was a while where we didn't talk because we just didn't really know each other. And then I saw you working at Charlie's.
Right.
And then I was like, hey, what the fuck? And then you hooked me up with the job.
True, yeah. I literally just randomly was like, Kelly, you know Julius. He comes in here all the time. Just give him a job. And she was like, okay, send me your resume. And I honestly didn't know if it was actually going to happen. Especially because didn't you say she didn't even or I don't know, one of you lagged for a minute?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was her or you or whatever, but I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time for that to happen.
And then I checked back in, and then she was like, "Oh yeah," and then I was like, "Oh shit, cool."
I know. I was really excited about that because I was looking for work at that point.
Yeah.
It was at the beginning of the end, I guess, of the pandemic, or the begin.
Right.
Not the end of it, but the end of us really caring.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking for work, and you're the homie because you hooked me up with the job.
I mean, yeah, I kind of just threw it at you. I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if you'll like coffee because you said you had no food experience, right?
Yeah.
In any kind of food service.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, shit. I mean, he'll learn.
Yeah.
Hopefully he likes it. Hopefully I didn't just put him in this place where he's like, ah, shit, I kind of hate this, and then he just has to deal with that. But
It was a great piece of luck, I think.
That's good.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I feel like it's a cool place to start off a coffee job if it actually would have interested you more in the future, but it's not too crazy there, it's people are cool for the most part, and there's assholes everywhere, but
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly's cool. Like,
Yeah,
it's a nice
yeah.
little spot. Like, it's cool.
I dig her as a boss, especially because she, throws events and
Yeah.
everything. We're gonna have some events coming up and all that, and puts
Yeah.
up art.
Yeah, she makes it interesting. She
Yeah.
puts her little flair to it, and I think that's really cool.
Do you have? I know you did a lot of painting, like on the walls and everything over there. But do you have any art up there?
I don't have any art up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have like framed art. That's a problem because I don't do a lot of physical paintings recently.
Mhm.
A lot of my art is digital, so a lot of it stays on my iPad, or if I get prints of it, they're not in frames like ready to hang. They're
Yeah.
just like kind of sheets of paper at that point.
But you go to a lot of the, like shows and stuff, like venues around LA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it too often. I want to say every like few months where I can. I want to say like I would do them a lot more often, but
Mhm.
it's transportation really. That's like my only issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to get out to the ones that I can, and a lot of people like if I talk to them in advance, and if they're cool and if they have the ability to, they'll be willing to hook me up. Like, oh, you can borrow a table, so you just have to bring your stuff. And like, for the most part, I could manage to get there on a bus
Yeah.
without if I don't have to bring a table. But that's like the whole thing.
Have you ever had to take it on the train around here? Take all that stuff. Like,
Without a table, yeah. Physically, I just wouldn't be able to take the table anywhere, period. Like, I can't carry, like, 3 bags and then, like, a folding table.
Yeah.
That's just, like, too much. Plus, I just bought a smaller folding table because the one that I had before was, like, 6 feet, and it's
Mhm.
pretty heavy, so I wanted to buy something that I could, like, comfortably carry on my own.
Uh-huh.
And so I finally bought that.
What?
I've been actually wanting to go back to Venice.
Venice Beach?
Yeah, like, the boardwalk.
Oh,
'cause,
yeah. Did you
that's,
do a
like-
lot of selling there?
I didn't do it too often because, I mean, it was kind of far. I lived in Pico Rivera at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Okay.
I would have my mom drop me off on like the metro, and I would
Mhm.
go with my friend and like take the metro all the way out to like Santa Monica, and then I would sit out on like a tapestry. I think that was when I was like 18, maybe 17,
okay.
but it was just like it was definitely like the first time that I'd ever like gone out in public to try to sell my art to people. And I didn't have a whole lot of stuff then. I had maybe like
Uh-huh.
a few stickers and like a couple prints. That's when I like started going to Cantu,
Yeah.
the graphic shop in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm actually designing a tattoo for one of the workers there right
Oh,
now.
no way.
Yeah.
What's it of?
He actually just called me earlier. It's of a mushroom, and it has an eye in it. I think you may have seen it. I posted it on my story not
Yeah.
too long ago. But yeah, that's for him. It's one of the guys that
Oh,
works there.
dude, that's so cool. Are you in a mushroom phase right now?
I am in a mushroom phase. I don't know why. They're just like aesthetically interesting.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't like mushrooms. Like
like taking them?
just mushrooms in general. Like I don't
Yeah.
like the flavor of mushrooms. And if you're referring to psychedelic mushrooms,
Yeah.
they make me sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like, upset my stomach really bad, and so I don't take them.
Did that have to do with your prejudice against the mushroom then?
I don't have any prejudice against mushrooms
Uh-huh.
because I love them and I draw them and I create them all the
Mhm.
time, but my stomach has prejudice against mushrooms.
It's the bowels,
And my tongue,
dude.
flavor and like just my whole biology is like no.
Well, we just had some pizza right now, and there was a build your own thing,
Yeah.
and I was considering talking about, and honestly, I was considering about hey, do you want some mushrooms on this pizza?
When I was like, let's pick a pizza to share, I was
Yeah.
like, we could do any of them except for the shroom pizza. Because there was that one, shroom pizza, and I was like, oh, maybe not that one.
Dude, that pizza. I mean, we just went through this, but the one we had, the elote pizza.
It was honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have had more corn though.
Yeah, it was lacking.
It was
in the
kind of
corn.
like sprinkled with corn, but like overall the flavor of it was really good. I was
Yeah.
worried that it was gonna be a little bland.
I know,
Especially with the
but-
no sauce thing
yeah.
and like, but they really like they fixed it up to have some.
It was the
like,
cheese,
crunch.
I
It was
think.
tangy. It was good.
The feta
Yeah.
cheese helped out.
And the tahine.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Christ.
I want to recreate that pizza.
Well, you were looking up the secrets to their ranch.
Oh, for their ranch, the dill ranch. I swear it has to be dill. That's definitely what it is.
put them out of business, Melissa.
I'm gonna be like, you have to give me the recipe to your ranch, and they're gonna be like, we can't. Sorry, I'm gonna make a big dill out of this if you don't tell me what the fuck. Is
Oh,
Like,
shit. I just caught the pun. I'm sorry.
and then I shut them down, and then they die.
Dude, that's not something to
The
joke
dye
about.
room.
The dye room? Is that what you
Yeah.
just said? The dye room? Just wait. Oh, so you'll buy the place and then rename it from the dough room to the dye room?
Well, no, they'll just collapse as a
Mhm.
as a business, and then it will be relabeled as the dye
As the
room.
dye room.
But it won't be like a functional business. Everybody in the town will just know it as the dye room now.
Some people use it as a bathroom for free, and not even the restroom part, just every part.
I don't know about that.
That's what I would do. That's my evil plan. That's the extent of my...
Shitting on the dough room.
Yeah, the dough room. It turns into the do room.
The doo-doo room.
the do room. I remember one time we were hanging out,
Okay.
and I brought it up while we were eating, because this place recently went down, like, to the do room, that pot place.
Yeah.
Not weed, but like the place, what is it?
Oh, Earth Kitchen?
Earth Kitchen.
Or reclaimed to the Earth Kitchen now?
It's, oh my, these puns are, you are the Punisher, Melissa, you are. But I remember you recited, one of the most memorable things in our hanging out,
Uh-huh.
that I actually think about sometimes, not too often because it's weird, but, you know, every once in a while I'll
You're
be
like, oh,
reminded
shit,
of.
okay.
It's 9:22 in the night. Time to think about it. It's when we were hanging out at that reclaimed by the Earth Kitchen, and I brought up William Shakespeare,
Yeah.
and then you recited nearly the whole to be or not to be monologue.
Or his soliloquy.
His
Yeah,
soliloquy. And I never told you this because I guess I never had a chance to tell you this, but I've always thought that was so impressive. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's because I grew up with, my mom grew up showing me those movies and those plays and everything. So, and I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
So you're just someone I didn't
That's
expect
true,
to
and you
know it.
wouldn't really, it doesn't seem like something I would know.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, that shit just got, like, engraved in my brain.
From what? Did you
In 8th
listen to
grade,
him?
I had, like, this honors English class, and my teacher was, like, kind of crazy, and, like, one of our assignments was to recite that whole speech. Like, I think we all had to memorize it, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Or maybe we each had, like, our own section that we had to remember, but we had to memorize that entire thing. And I had spent, like, so many weeks, like, and, like, I have ADD, like, I don't remember things on a daily basis, like, I do shit and forget it 5 seconds later. So the fact that I could remember that kind of pisses me off. Like, it's literally been, like, it's over a decade, it's like a decade later, and I still fucking remember that speech.
So you don't remember if it was like everyone had their own assigned? Or...
I want to say that we all had to memorize it.
That's like indoctrination.
But, like, I don't know. And it was funny because I remember, like, I don't know, we were kind of like the emo kids of the class. And,
okay.
She would get a kick out of it. Or she would actually kind of make fun of us in class.
Oh, what'd she say?
I don't know. I remember one time, like, we were talking about a story, and it had a character in it named Ophelia. And then she was like, Ophelia means kind of, like, dark and, like, emo. Kind of like those two over there. And she, like, points to me and my friend, like, straight up in front of the whole class. And we're just like, what the fuck?
We're just, dude, what the fuck? Was that Midsummer's Night Dream?
I don't know, but we were talking about, like poetry and shit. Probably was. And then I actually got in trouble around that time because we were learning about to be or not to be, and, you know, the whole speech is about, like, this guy, he's debating on killing himself.
This
he's like,
guy.
do I want to die or do I not? And that's, like, his whole thing. So, like...
This schmuck called Hamlet,
yeah,
you know?
this fucking idiot called Hamlet is like, do I want to kill myself or do I not? I'm going to go on this huge thing about it and whatever, make you suffer and remember it for 10 years. And on my teacher's whiteboard, there was this little magnetic posable, like, stick man thing.
Oh, okay.
And so what I did was, it was, like, on lunch or something, and then I posed the stick man so that his hand was kind of pointed up at his head. And on the whiteboard, I drew a gun, and he was blowing his brains out. And I wrote to be or not to be on the whiteboard. And it wasn't during class time, but my teacher was like, aha, I love it. She thought it was funny.
That is funny.
I guess she left it up, and I think somebody reported it or something. Either that, or she lied to my face and reported it behind my back. But I ended up getting called into the principal's office, and they were like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey," and they were like, "So we're just calling you in and like
see how you're doing."
And I was like, "Okay," and they were like, they said something about a drawing, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. And they were like, yeah, you know, just was like the stuff that's going on, like, is it okay if we check your bag?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay. And they checked my bag for guns, and they were like, oh, can we check your arms? And I was like, okay. And they checked me for self-harm, and I was just like,
Oh
what
my
the fuck
God.
is this? And then they were like, okay, well, I guess you're good. And I was like, all right. And then I remember, like, the assistant principal came in, and she was just kind of bystanding, like, listening to our conversation. And eventually, like, the actual principal was kind of, like, chill because he knew, like, it was fine, like, whatever. And he started, like, making jokes. He was like, I remember when I was in high school, like, you know, you just have to be safe now. Because, like, I remember back in the day, like, I remember being in the parking lot with my friend, and we were going to go shooting after school. Like, we were going to go hunting or something. And I was, like, in the parking lot, and I was showing my friend all my guns. And we were, like, out in the school parking lot holding up a shotgun.
What do you mean?
The janitor was like, oh, man, that's a nice gun, man. Like,
what?
They were, like, showing off his shotguns in the school parking lot. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he was like, yeah.
Hey, bro, does it work? Yeah, look. Bam.
And then he was like, yeah, you know, I got a gun right here. And he starts, like, patting
What?
himself.
What?
He was just cracking jokes, and the fucking assistant principal was looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And it was, like, so funny to me. I just awkwardly left, and I just, like, thought that was hilarious looking back at it.
Wait, where did you go to school? Like, what the fuck? That's insane. He was self-reporting, and he didn't even know. He was just like, "Oh yeah, dude, funny. I'm strapped to the, like."
No, literally.
What?
Dude,
Dude,
like,
that's.
are you strapped? Because I'm strapped. He was just looking for like a strap buddy.
Yeah, literally. It's like, you know, in the movies where they go to like check in, give us all the guns you have, and they pull out
He
like
was just adding to his
everything.
collection.
Yeah, literally. And this is that guy.
This is him.
Who pulls out like the bazooka out of his back pocket and shit. Dude, that's fucking crazy. What the?
Dude, what a story.
Dude, yeah, no, seriously, because you mentioned like at that time, and you know, school shootings have been like.
It's already been a thing.
On the right, or I guess
like,
it's
what if
now
I was
a
a
thing.
really good liar and I actually was a school shooter and he was just like normalizing this shit in my brain?
Who?
My teacher.
The one who was saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I got all these guns in my trunk." I mean, yeah, that's fucked up. Was the security crazy at your school, or
No.
it was just pretty? You know, anyone could walk in, anyone could walk out.
I mean, I don't know about that, but like, I mean, I don't know. It was decent, I guess.
Yeah. Did you have a resource officer? Do you know?
I want to say we did. I'm not 100% sure. I think we did.
Okay. I remember at my school that you could literally just walk in.
I don't know if you could just walk in there. I forgot.
That's scary.
It was a little. Actually, wait. I'm sorry. Did I say high school?
I don't. Was it high school?
It was in middle school.
Oh.
I don't know if I specified that.
Oh.
I forget. No, I think I did. It might have.
I don't know.
It was in 8th grade that happened.
We were talking about the. You went from Billy Shakes.
Wait, what?
William Shakespeare.
Billy Shakes.
Billy Shakes, yeah. to the open carry laws.
Oh god.
That's disgusting, dude. It reminds me of when I went to a charter school and they had like Greek mythology as our history.
Mm.
Your school wasn't a charter school, was it?
No, it was just a regular high school.
When you drew that gun, right?
Yeah.
Was that like the first? Because a lot of your work, which I appreciate about the work you do, is that there's like, and I mean this in the best way possible, but there's sometimes like sinister undertones to a lot of the pieces. Was that the beginning, or were you always drawing stuff like that?
The sinister undertones definitely was a middle school thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very heavily sinister undertones. Like 99% of the drawings that I drew around that time were just bloody, gory, or something creepy, or something dark and creepy related.
Yeah.
Very emo drawings. And I kind of I started to get out of that in like high school-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started drawing more fun psychedelic things.
Yeah.
Of creepy dark things. Sometimes it's a little mixture of both.
I got some of the stickers on the laptop that we're recording with, the Rip Rat cat and everything. You'd done some logos for like Charlie's, for example.
Yeah.
That are now stickers and everything. So, what were the influences of that like dark period earlier on?
The dark period?
Yeah, like what was making you do that? Was it the voice inside your head?
I think it was the voice inside my head. I don't know. I was just I was a very sad child in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I was just very I don't know. I wasn't emo in the sense of I was like into super emo music because like I was into I mean like MCR was like
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance was my favorite band then, but like I'm not super well versed in like like Paramore, like other like staple emo bands that people was like know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
saying that they're emo. So like I wouldn't technically call myself emo in that respect, but like I was just very depressed, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of like was like dressed in black, like emo vibes kind of thing, and I
Mhm.
would always draw weird fucked up shit that people would look at and be like, what the fuck?
Did it help?
Yeah, it did.
Is like a release a little bit?
Yeah. And it was just like sometimes I would just draw it just to get a reaction out of people because it was just kind of funny. I'd like show it to my teachers and like I'd be like, hey, look at this, and they're like, okay, you good? And I'm like, I don't know, but fuck it.
Well, then you have some of the cool teachers be like, that's sick.
I remember in my art class, in one of my years of art class in high school, I was drawing my art teacher decapitated by a zombie. It was a zombie holding his decapitated head, and
yeah.
he caught me drawing it. Or either that or I showed it to him, and I was like, hey, look at this. And he was like, this is cool. Is that me? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. Nice.
Well, I was gonna ask if it looked a lot like him, but
I think it did. No, it recognizably like him because like he
Yeah.
has very specific facial hair and glasses and like
Oh, okay.
yeah.
The fact that he was thinking, is that me?
No, yeah.
It's a pretty good likeness, right?
It probably was. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely recognizably him. We would tease him a lot because he looked kind of like a hipster. But
Oh,
he would-
really?
He would swear he didn't look like a hipster, but he did have hipster vibes. Like he had one of those like leather book bags and like
Oh,
glasses
yeah.
and stuff. And,
The knapsack.
yeah, I have a drawing of him, and it's him as like a little cartoon character, and he's in
Uh-huh.
a spy suit, and he's like coming down from a ceiling, and it says, like his name, and it's like the hipster looking spy.
Did he ever wear a fedora?
He did not wear a fedora.
Tattoos?
No, he was just like, I don't know. He just looked like somebody you'd see in like a bookstore. Oh, I was a horrible student.
Oh,
in
really?
High school. Well, not horrible, but like.
We just kind of like
I was
passe about
very-
it.
Yeah, I didn't really like. School was never really my favorite thing.
Mhm.
I was very like, I drew a lot in class growing up. I feel like most of my school time was spent drawing, and that was since I was little. Like I would always get like notes home saying like, "Oh, it's great," but like she's doodling too much.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I was younger, I remember like I would still be paying attention though too. Like I was okay at multitasking, and I would like to prove them wrong. Like
Yeah.
it's like I knew they were paying attention to the fact I was drawing, but I was still making sure that I was listening. So that way, when they asked me something, I'd be like, da da da, and they'd be like, okay, whatever. I guess I can't touch you. I guess or whatever.
Did you ever draw what they were talking about?
Nah.
Nah. Is
No.
it too boring?
Yeah. But like I mean like in high school and like middle school I got like C's and B's,
Mhm.
a couple A's, a couple D's. I almost didn't graduate.
These nuts. I'm sorry.
I almost didn't graduate high school. On
Really?
Time. Like or I almost didn't walk or something because like I had D's and F's in my second semester
Oh, yeah?
and it was like 2 weeks into the semester and I was like, dude, I have like classes that are in like 28% right now.
Oh,
They
shit.
were like, yeah, you need to like get your shit together. And then I did. I graduated with B's at least. I'm just gonna drop the class. And then I dropped the class and then I moved up the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And then I never went back to school.
Which mountain did you
Um,
live up in?
I lived up on the Angeles Forest, up Highway
Oh,
2
yeah.
at that restaurant, Newcomb's Ranch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that is that way past that peak of Angeles Crest? Because there's there's areas where you can stop and everything.
Okay,
and
so
see
like
everything.
you know where people go like when you're going. Do you know like the city of where the 2 comes up in like?
And
Lackawanna?
La Cañada, yeah.
Yeah, so you know like when you go up straight to the 2 and like,
Yeah.
the first few turnouts and stuff. Have you ever been as far up as Mount Wilson?
I don't think I have.
No.
No. Or maybe, I don't remember.
It's definitely
Shit.
way past like
It's in there.
it's in there. It's 40 miles up the mountain.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So it's like a good like half hour to it's like a 45-minute drive for the average driver.
Yeah.
45 to an hour.
Dude,
Um,
what caught I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that to sound judgmental. What did make you want to, or did you want to move up there? Did you feel like you needed to?
I
Or?
just thought it would be interesting. I
Uh-huh.
mean, like I kind of wanted to move out of my parents' house
Mhm.
kind of early-ish. Wasn't like terrible there or anything. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't know, I just wanted to get out of there. It felt like it was kind of
Was it cheap up there?
It was cheap up there, yeah. So I felt bad every time I had to like ask somebody for a ride home because I mean I still don't have a car and like I didn't even have my license back then, so I was completely reliant on rides like while living on a mountain for like a year.
Oh shit!
Which was crazy.
Were you ever forced to hitchhike?
I was never forced to hitchhike, thank God, and I don't think I fucking would up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
all sorts of wackos.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would trust being driven by a stranger for fucking like an hour.
Let me tell you something. I think that joint is hitting me a little bit right now.
This much later? Where's
my water? Here, I'm gonna. You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever recorded. Thank you. This is the first time I ever recorded something where it was hitting me. I literally.
Such an experience.
Dude, while you were talking about the woods a little bit, I started to hear the woods.
You started
hearing the woods. Oh my God. Here, ASMR.
I'm trying to think about like the most interesting stories from up there. I remember one time.
Here, why don't you get a little closer to the mic?
I was driving up there. It was pretty late at night, and like we would hear rumors about there being like witchcraft and stuff up there, but like we wouldn't really see anything. But across from the restaurant, if you would cross the road, there was like a clearing of like land that was still under the same property, and like there would be like old like cabins and shit that used to be across the street that are like falling apart, like just kind of like the remains of that
dilapidated buildings.
Yeah, and I guess unrelated to the buildings, but there would be like a wooden sign that somebody had carved symbols into and roped up to the trees.
What?
And then on some surrounding trees there would be larger carved symbols in the trees.
Is that the same place you did that artwork of because you had a rat? And then you remember you did artwork for... Is that the same place?
Yeah, that's the same place.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
but
that's where I did the rat.
Did you see it, like, in that area where you did that? Did you see any of those symbols?
Yeah, that's where it was. Like,
that's where it was.
Yeah,
oh, okay,
that's exactly the area.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And that's all you experienced?
That was directly across from the restaurant.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was directly there, like a 2-minute walk away.
You didn't experience anything else?
I personally never really did. Oh, yeah, and then one time we were driving up there, and, like, sometimes there would be, like we saw like people standing out in a turnout, like just like arm to arm. It was the middle of the night. It was like maybe like 11:30 or 12, and it's pretty far up there. Like we weren't in the early turnouts and we weren't like all the way up there yet, but like it was kind of out there. And all of their cars were parked so that it blocked the entire entrance of the turnout. So like they had their cars lined up, so it was kind of like hiding them.
Yeah.
And it just looked super weird, and we were like, "What the fuck is going on?" And like the car in front of us also thought it was super weird, and then. We had our windows down, and they had their windows down, and we just hear, "Yo, they're doing witchcraft up here! Get the fuck out of here!" And we were just like, "Oh shit!" What the fuck?
They're doing witchcraft. Have you ever been to Eaton Canyon?
Eaton Canyon.
It's in Arcadia area.
Arcadia. That sounds really familiar.
There's allegedly some witch
Eaton
cult type
Canyon.
of stuff.
I know I've heard of something.
At night.
Eaton Canyon. What
Yeah.
are they eating out there?
Goat hearts.
Oh shit. Wait,
Yeah, it is Eaton Canyon, with the waterfall at the end.
Because you said it's in Arcadia?
I believe so.
That
Either that
like
or
Sturdivant
Altadena.
Falls, but that must... Is Sturdivant Falls in Eaton Canyon?
Possibly. It's over near one of the high schools over there.
Falls.
I think the Pasadena High School. Shit.
I'll have to look.
I've heard all sorts of stories about haunted shit.
Really?
Yeah, haunted stuff, cult stuff, all that stuff. I never want to go there during the night. Never.
Honestly, I feel like any mountain area is kind of creepy during the night.
Yeah, any wooded area for sure.
Yeah.
When you were living up there, do you believe in the supernatural,
And
like the
ghosts and
haunted?
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you had experiences?
Not super like crazy ones. Just more like subtle ones. I haven't had anything in this apartment or in my last apartment, but my house growing up just kind of gave me creepy ass vibes sometimes.
Oh yeah. Like other presences?
I don't know, like just weird vibes sometimes, and like my mom also believes in that kind of stuff, and so like just like things moving, I guess. Like I remember one time I was in the living room with my mom, and we had like a little lamp on like our desk.
Yeah.
And the lampshade could move, you know, like it could wiggle, but like it wasn't like a breeze could move it. But
Yeah.
like if you pushed it with your hand, it can move side to side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, my mom is facing me and I'm facing the lamp. And then I see it go up to the side. And I go, Mom. And then she turns around and she sees it go back down.
What?
And I was like, you saw that, right? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, what the fuck was that? And she was like, I don't know. And then, like, just something like that. And I remember one time I was in the bathroom and I was standing in front of the sink. And I don't remember what I was doing. I did something, like, on my phone, or, like, I closed my eyes for, like, a split second. And, like, the soap container, the plastic soap dispenser that was sitting up by the handle was suddenly on the floor at my feet. And it was pushed against, like, the sink wall. Like, it wasn't even on the edge or anything. Like, I had just blinked or, like, looked away or something, and all of a sudden I hear it fall, and it's, like, on the floor.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, that's not physically possible.
Yeah, so that's reason enough to believe
I
in
think
something?
so. Like, I feel like it is. And then I remember, like, something else that was weird that happened shortly after one of our dogs had died.
Uh-huh.
I was in the bathroom, and my mom was in the bedroom, and we both heard an animal whimper coming from inside the house, more specifically in the bedroom closet that she was in. But I heard it, like, from the hallway in the bathroom, and she was like, and I heard it, like, we didn't have any other TVs or anything playing in the house, and we both heard it at the same time, and she was like, Melissa, and I was like, yeah, what was that? And she was like, you heard that too, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, it came from, like, the closet. Wow. And I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's
really weird. It sounded like an animal.
It sounded
whimper.
like specifically a dog, or like, just an animal.
No, you could tell, like, it sounded like a dog whimper, basically.
Oh my God.
Like, it didn't sound like a mouse or, like, any scuttling. It was like a whimper, like a loud whimper.
That's a sad one, man.
Yeah.
That's a sad one.
It was.
What was your dog's name?
The one that had just passed, I believe it must have been Texas. He was a beagle, because it was years ago. It was it was when I was a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it must have been after our beagle had passed, because we haven't had a recent dog pass.
That's a good name for a dog, by the way.
My mom named him. Because she was from Texas.
I see. Okay, so it goes down to you with the inspiration of naming your pets, namely Bubs, the cat, who's over there.
We should bring him over.
Yeah. Go ahead, bring Mr. Bubs. I want to hear him meow. Bubs is a beautiful, a beautiful, hefty black cat.
Yes.
Wait, give me your paw. Give me your paw. You don't look so freaked out.
Such a sweet boy.
Give me a hug. I've never pet a cat on a podcast before. It's awesome.
I wish he could meow. I wish he was a vocal cat so he could be on this podcast.
Your cat doesn't meow?
You know,
it doesn't talk too much?
Really. Sometimes if I'm, like, about to feed him, he'll
Uh-huh.
meow. But, like, not always.
Do you ever get those, like, hey, like those types of meows, you know?
No.
Like that meow, like that type of shit?
No, he, like, kind of chirps when he's about to get his food. He'll be, like, little squeaky meows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My cat will be an asshole sometimes about it. Give me the food!
Kaylee's cat is very vocal. She could be a little annoying sometimes.
What's the cat's name?
Her name is Willow.
Willow?
Yeah. Sometimes she just doesn't shut up for no reason.
Oh, man. And how long have you had Bubs here? 4 years?
Bubs, he is 4 years old. I've had him since February of 2019.
Oh.
So,
What did you
going
do?
on, what is it? Going on 4 years?
It's
Yeah.
coming up to the, yeah.
Going on 4 years.
What a
Because I got him at
cutie.
6 months old. And I adopted him when I was living in the mountain because I needed a friend and pest control.
For those listening, I'm I'm scratching his chin, and he just looks. Is this bothered or is it pleasured?
He's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Oh.
He's kneeling into it.
When it comes to your artwork,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any inspirations, or is it just you try to do your own thing?
I feel like I take inspiration from what's around me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, other artists that I follow on, like, Instagram and stuff. But, I mean, obviously he's a huge... Bubs is a big inspiration in my
He's
art.
the main muse?
Yeah, I want to say. I draw a lot of cats now. I didn't used to draw any cats before. And now cats are mostly all I draw. I was trying to do a lot of rat art for a minute, but I honestly didn't even end up making that much. But I had rats before I had Bubs.
You're wearing a rat right now?
I'm wearing a rat hoodie right now.
Is that your work?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just a rat hoodie I found and I bought it.
Oh. Oh, shit.
And But yeah, I had a couple rats for a minute.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that phase. It was when we were talking about the racist rat.
Yeah.
You remember the racist
I
rat?
do remember the racist rat.
You remember who the racist rat was?
It was Jacob.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me. I was just.
I don't know.
I thought it was me for a second.
It was probably both of you.
It was
honestly.
probably all of us.
You were collectively the racist rat.
Oh shit! Well, I like that. I like the stuff you've been doing lately, the molds and everything. I brought up earlier the mushrooms and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever consider doing like miniature,
Like
like
more
sets or
sculpting
something?
and stuff?
Yeah, like.
I want to get into sculpting a little bit more, or maybe
Uh-huh.
just doing like little figurines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to make some earrings for people for Christmas, whether it be like little figurines of, I don't know, I could make mini mushroom earrings, or like
Oh yeah, that would be good.
some clay ones, because like I bought molds and I bought hooks and I gave myself options. So I bought some clay and then I bought the resin and the molds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna try to do the rest of them with clay, because I think it's a little more straightforward to me than the resin. I feel like the resin I still have some experimenting to do with to
Mhm.
figure out how to like get the best results and like do it properly. But the clay I feel a little bit more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna try to do that.
I have a pun for you
What is that?
regarding mushrooms, because we were figuring out puns earlier,
Yes.
and you've even laid some pretty good ones on the mics already. But I have one for you. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
What does Mario say about Toad?
What does Mario say about Toad? What?
He's a fun guy. I'm curious. Where do you want to go with the art? Is it just something, that's how it is right now, or did you want to get into bigger things, smaller things?
I mean, I definitely know I want to do art as like a career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly know. I should probably start figuring that out
Mhm.
at this point, because it's been like I've just been like kind of vibing and like seeing
Yeah.
what I do and like what I end up getting into. But yeah, I don't really have a specific thing I want to take it to. I mean, like, I'm not really too inclined towards like logoing or like graphic design for like advertisement and stuff like that. I would rather do maybe some kind of freelance, or like vending and like doing like shirt designs and like stickers and prints and like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or maybe tattooing. I don't really know anything about it, but that's an option that I've been meaning to look into. But yeah, just something like that. I haven't really dabbled in animation at all.
Is it something you're thinking about?
I'm not sure. I want to say yes,
Mm-hmm.
because it would be cool to give some life to a lot of things. Because like what I kind of hate about art is like, or at least compared to like being a musician, is like when you are a musician, like you could collaborate actively with other people in person in real time. And I feel like with art you can, but it's like it's different. Like, you work on the piece and then they work on the piece, and you're
Mhm.
usually like in separate, like it's
Yeah.
collaborative, but it's still like a more isolated thing, and it's not like you're actively creating something with somebody in real time.
Yeah.
For the most part, like
There's a lack of
exceptions,
sinkage
yeah, but
there,
there's, like,
right?
it's a different experience with like music compared to
Mhm.
that kind of a thing. And I feel like with music, like say if you write a song, you can replay that song for people and like do it over and over. Like it's listening to a song, and like sometimes I feel like with art it's like a lot of work, and then it's just like this image, and then you're like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Like
And
what's
it's just,
after
it's
that?
just like different,
right?
And
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think that would be kind of cool, because it would be more of like a longer experience, and
Mhm.
something maybe like a little bit more relivable, or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
No, yeah, I get what you mean. I did.
Obviously not discrediting like still art photos in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what I do. But yeah, I just like, I feel like it's a different thing.
Is the challenge also something that attracts you to like say animation or something new?
I don't know, it sounds kind of hard.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I don't know, it sounds like a lot of work, 'cause,
Yeah.
like animation is like, it seems like its own beast.
Yeah, it's
In
frame by
terms
frame.
of like, yeah,
Yeah.
like you like capturing motion, like I feel like it's a huge learning curve, because like you have to restudy everything basically that you're drawing, and like you have to know angles and like perspective and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
in a different way and like make it look right and fluid.
But would it be so? It would be like a 2D animation you'd consider. Like, would stop motion be there for you?
Stop motion might be too much for me.
Yeah.
But I like seeing it. I like the process. It would be interesting. I mean, I could handle tedious for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Sometimes like I struggle with keeping attention to a project, especially when it gets too tedious.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know if I would be able to like keep up with it.
Yeah.
But I would at least try it at least once. Like
It'll be like the iCarly episode where you did the stop motion.
I was literally just watching a clip of that like today or like yesterday. It was when Freddy comes in and picks up the thing and he's like, no.
And then it comes out to be like what, 18 seconds or something.
What was it? It was about a
It was
burrito.
Was it a
like
burrito or a
has
hamster
landed or some shit,
the
or like the
burrito.
hamster burrito or some shit.
Yeah, it's like some hamster or some shit on a planet.
Yeah.
And then a burrito showed up, and then I think something exploded. Did something explode?
I don't even remember.
Oh God, I don't know, dude. Oh my God, that. Oh God, I remember
I feel
that.
like I would be Spencer in that show. I feel like.
Oh,
I would
really?
Just be like random shit making things.
You like, I could see you in that apartment. In terms of like everything, like there's stop signs in there and shit.
Aesthetically, yeah.
Aesthetically.
Actually, yeah. I could see that too.
Because you know what's weird? That you were thinking of iCarly earlier today. I was thinking of it while we were in your room, and you were talking about the lights. You know how you glued them on and everything.
Oh,
And you were
yeah.
like, "Man, I gotta fucking rip these off and shit. Fuck up the apartment." And I was thinking of when he said, when he made that new studio.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, "It doesn't make sense to do this because it's a rental, but whatever." That's so
Fuck it.
weird. Fuck it.
I don't know. I'll deal with it later. It's a problem for future me.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they said fuck it on iCarly.
Fuck it. Spencer.
You know, Sam was thinking that every once
Oh
in a
yeah,
while.
no, for sure.
For sure. She
Every
was like,
day.
"Man, fuck
You could
these
see the
guys."
fuck it in her expression.
Yeah.
Like, her facial expression said fuck it.
Oh my God. What's her name? Jeanette McCurdy?
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the biggest crush for her growing
Really?
up. Oh yeah, dude. I want to do you know she came out with a book recently?
Yeah, I did. I heard about that.
Did you check it out?
I
or
haven't
anything?
checked it out.
Shit, I want to read it. I heard it's all sorts of crazy.
Yeah, I did too.
Fuck. Jeanette McCurdy, my
It was
girl.
so scruffy.
I always like Jeanette McCurdy over Miranda Cosgrove. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
No apologies here.
No apologies here. Ignore this podcast. Melissa, I think this weed is getting to me a little bit too much. I can't record anymore. But I just want to say before we wrap it up, thank you for, first of all, having me over, because I've never been here before and I really like it, and it's really cool. And I love Bubs and I love seeing you guys and everything. And I want to thank you for coming or joining me on this,
Thank you.
because I enjoyed talking to you. And that gun shit, I'm gonna listen to at work for sure. About your fucking teacher. It's like,
Dude.
oh, is this gun okay?
It was
Yeah.
a whole thing. I don't know how to explain that one. But thank you for having me on
Of-
your podcast.
of course,
This is the first podcast that I've ever
Been
been
on?
on. And will probably be the first that I listen to actively.
Yes.
So, congratulations. I'm not ignoring your podcast.
Hey, not ignoring this one.
Yes.
Ignore the rest.
Well, I'll
Please.
probably read the rest. Listen to the rest.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. Her name is Melissa Riprat on Instagram. You can go check her stuff out, and she does commissions. So you can go get some shit from her. Very cool stuff, because she's working on a Spider-Man drawing right now, which you showed me the coloring for, and it looks dope. So, and I'm a big Spider-Man guy, so I appreciate what you're doing with that shit. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Stay safe, and goodbye.